Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday. It's the third day of November 2022. I hope you're all healthy and safe today. And I hope that your family is also healthy and safe, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders, whose job every day it is to save lives. Blessings upon those also that pick up garbage for us to keep streets, highways, parks clean, and those that make deliveries of important items for us, sometimes their own danger for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, recover, and deliver the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia, the victims also of pornography and child pornography, the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, of human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts who traffic in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, especially children, on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night. The New York Knicks hosted the Atlanta Hawks. It was a big game. It had playoff atmosphere in the beginning of the game. It was the worst game for the Knicks I had seen in a while. There was a game this past season where the Knicks scored about 70 points or something close to that at the half, and they were up more than 20 and lost the game. During the course of the Knicks game, sometimes I'll be tweeting as the game goes on. I didn't tweet last night because I was concerned when I saw them up 20 and it started to close at the end of the half. Just didn't feel good. Maybe it was flashbacks from last year, but I wanted to wait and see how this worked out. Well, my feelings were justified as the Knicks not only gave up the lead, but went on to lose by 13, a 36-point turnaround. It was easily the worst performance. And the thing is that it's frustrating. It's not just that they lost the game, but it was how they lost. They came out in the first quarter like world beaters. They were really, Mitchell Robinson was all over the place. Randall, Barrett, everybody was playing except Fournier. Everybody was really playing at a high level. The second unit outscored Atlanta's first unit 20-0 in the first half. They had 16 assists at the half. And I was like, maybe we can get 30 assists today. But it was not to be. They just completely collapsed last night. Just completely collapsed. It was just the other day I put out a video where I said it's not time to panic. And it's not. It's still early in the season. That being said, Ian Begley, as well as others, but Ian Begley, one of the three wise men, and the only one of those between Shams, Begley, and Wojnarowski that really covers the Knicks pretty much full time, said that, if the Knicks started off slow, that Tom Thibodeau's job would be in jeopardy if they started off slow. Last night was a collapse of epic proportions. It was. It was bothering me all night, the way they played. Julius Randle was playing like the worst of Julius Randle from last year. Jalen Brunson, what's been bothering me for the last 3 or 4 games, even during the wins, he's been focused on scoring and not on leading, directing, organizing. He started off leading, directing, organizing, but he's been focused on his own shot so much, to me, that it sometimes hurts the flow of the game. And in fact, before the Knicks completely gave up the lead during the course of the Atlanta run, Mike Green asked Clyde Frazier, what is going on here, Clyde? And he said lack of ball movement and lack of defensive intensity. And that is exactly what it was. The ball movement begins with the point guard. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't assign Brunson. I'm not saying this is going to be a disaster. I'm saying he needs to pick up his game as far as point guard responsibilities. He needs to pick up his game as far as taking control of the team. Why, for example, here's a minor thing that shows you a lot. Why is it every time there's a technical foul, Julius Randle takes the shot? He's not the best foul shooter out there. And then he misses it half the time. Why is it that he takes the shot? Out at the time that when he did it, you had Brunson, Fournier, and Barrett, all of whom are shooting free throws better than Julius Randle. That's what I'm talking about. It seemed like Julius is kind of like the litmus test. He's kind of like the bellwether. What he's doing, how he's acting kind of will tell you what's going to happen with the team. And he was 4 of 12. He was 0 for 4 from 3. He had 6 rebounds. He played 30 minutes. It was bad. For a guy that's supposed to be one of your leaders, it was bad, okay? And Brunson did not rein him in, did not get in his face, did not take charge of the game. This is another one where Brunson needs to be in that locker room saying this is on me and mean it. Fournier, now look, I told y'all, and y'all know, Thibodeau likes to stick with his rotations for 20, 30 games, okay? He likes to stick with them for 20 or 30 games. But after 7 games, last night Fournier was 1 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, minus 20, 3 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 2 turnovers. I think we can safely say, and let's be conservative about it, that Quentin Grimes would do no worse. Okay? Let's just be conservative and say Quentin Grimes would not be any worse than Evan Fournier and probably be better on defense. And again, I'm being conservative, okay? I don't try to exaggerate. So I'm saying he would probably be no worse offensively and better defensively. So that I guess what I'm saying is Quentin Grimes, if he was in that position, we would get better basketball play. Now, I don't know if Thibodeau is going to make that change this early or not. I would be surprised actually if he did. Because generally he will let these guys play come hell or high water, no matter how bad it looks, for 20 or 30 games. Okay. And I have to also say, in all fairness, I would not think it's logical even to expect the Knicks to have played that well in the first half, that badly in the second half, and for that to be the norm going forward. They're better than this. Quickly played better. The thing about Quickly and Toppin, both of them, and D Rose, but Quickly and Toppin, is that they play well together. It's obvious. But they both are now exuding a confidence. They were the only 2 players last night that seemed to believe, with RJ Barrett, but that seemed to believe they could still come back and win the game. They had that type of attitude. Whereas everybody else was what Clyde calls it, bumbling and stumbling. Mitchell Robinson was being, one time he snatched a rebound over Hunter and they called the foul. And I'm like, where are you? And it was like he was on the verge, it seems like, of taking over the game early. Okay. He had 3 blocks. To me, if you had, he was probably the best player of the starting 5. He had 8 points, 12 boards, 3 on the offensive end, 3 blocks. He was minus 15. He was 4 or 5 from the field. But he had 4 fouls. Reddish, I was defending him. Y'all know I was, but he sucked last night. And the thing you want to get on my last nerve, and I'm not even a professional coach, and I love defense like Thibodeau does. You let your man run down the floor twice in the same couple of sequences without you even being near him. And he just gets a wide open dunk twice. You're going to lose me. He did that with DeAndre Hunter twice. That I saw. That I was so disgusted. He might have done it more and I wasn't even paying attention. So I don't know what Thibs is going to do going forward. I don't know. I like to judge by past history because that's generally past history. A lot of times with coaches tells you what they're going to do going forward. Okay. So Thibs is probably going to start this same five against Philly on Friday and hope that, between today's practice and tomorrow's practice and film session, they get better. That's the more likely what's going to happen, which is extremely frustrating. But again, I'm not going to beat my head against the wall expecting, a scorpion to be a frog. It is what it is, right? So, but I am hoping that Grimes feels better this morning and that Quentin will get at least more minutes, if not starting soon. We need some help here. And Quentin Grimes is only in his second year. Y'all gonna be surprised, but I'm really disappointed in Jalen Brunson. I'm disappointed. I'm expecting more leadership, and I don't mean hogging the ball. He was trying to shoot and score and use all his fancy footwork, where the rest of the team is just looking for the ball. They got to be better than this. They just have to be better than this. Period. They have to be. Okay? So, I don't know what Tom is going to do. Like I said, I suspect he's going to probably go right back to this rotation on Friday. And we're going to see what happens. And again, we're trying to mount a comeback, right? He takes Obi Toppin out and puts Julius Randle in. And, somebody, I forgot where I read it. Somebody made a tweet and they said, they quoted Thibodeau because Thibodeau is always saying the game tells you what to do. Last night, and he said last night the game told you to keep Obi Toppin in the game. And you didn't do what the game told you what to do. And I had to agree with that. I had to agree with that. So, yes, we have Philadelphia tomorrow night in Philly. And this is not looking good. This is not a good scenario to go into Philly with. But it's another day. We're going to see what they come out with as far as announcements after today's practice. If they say anything about changes, but I'm going to prepare myself. Somebody in the media is going to say, are you contemplating any changes? And he's going to say no. Or we're going to say, we're going to see what happens, which means same lineup. And hopefully they play better Friday. I'm glad I'm not going to actually see it until Saturday night. And I watched the Boston game Saturday night too. But last night was punishment watching them last night. It was really hard. And y'all know it was hard to watch that game, the second half last night. Very hard. Anyway, y'all have a good Thursday. I'm sorry to be so somber today, but it was that type of game. And hopefully, like I said, maybe he makes a change for Friday, but I doubt it. Anyway, shalom.